Hello, Blue Jays fans, and welcome back to another video. Man, do I wish I was coming to you with better news, but all I have to say is what happened.
Yeah.
What happened? I wish I was talking to the team right now, but I'm talking to you guys, the fans and the viewers. 10-3. A score of 10-3 is nothing to bat an eye at. The Mariners whipped our butts, and it is not looking great for the Toronto Blue Jays. I don't mean to laugh, but it's all you can do. When in the face of sadness, all you can do is laugh. So let's go over this game. What went right? What went horribly wrong? And Brandon, I'm just gonna toss it over to you because I'm in hysterics.
Yeah, it was a really disappointing game, obviously. We talked after game one about how the Blue Jays needed this game just because, losing home field advantage is one thing. Getting swept in the first two games of a series at home is really tough because now the Blue Jays are in an 0-2 hole. They need to head to Seattle against a team that's really good at home. Obviously, the Blue Jays have been really good at home all year. And they're going to be at a disadvantage in the pitching matchups for the rest of the series, which we'll talk about shortly. But in terms of game two, what was really crushing is that it was the other Mariners. Cal Raleigh didn't get a hit. He walked twice, obviously, because the Blue Jays pitchers were naturally scared, wary of facing him. But it was Julio Rodriguez, Jorge Polanco, and Josh Naylor, the guys sitting directly behind Cal Raleigh, that hit the home runs, that did the damage. And again, this is the danger of what the Mariners have built this season of having just power hitters up and down the lineup. Obviously, Eugenio Suarez hasn't even really done anything this series, and he's a guy who hit 50 home runs in the season. So, it's really a situation where this is it's a deep lineup. It's a really good pitching staff. I mean, the Blue Jays got Logan Gilbert out of the game after 3 innings, and then the Mariners bullpen came in and basically shut the game down from there. And so it's just, it's frustrating just because the Blue Jays, I think, mostly had their game plan. Again, they got Gilbert out of the game early. There was some offense a little bit. Nathan Lukes had 3 hits. In the or 3 for 3 early in the game. I mean, it's just again, the talent is clearly here for the Blue Jays. This series is not over. It's winning 4 games is in a 5 game stretch is not impossible, but it's just, again, with what is coming now in Seattle with the pitching, it's going to be really tough for Toronto to bring this back.
Yeah, and let's not forget that Trey Savage did a pretty good job considering how young he is in his career, right? This is a young guy going into the World Series playoffs. I mean, it's not an easy task. This is a Sisyphusian, you know, task for him to do, and he's doing not a terrible job. He's not doing an amazing job either, but I think we have the right guy for the job at the end of the day. Yeah, he's given up some home runs. Yeah, he's given up some walks, but it could be a lot worse. I wish I could say something better than that here. I think the thing that I kind of want to point out is also our offense at this point. Yeah, we have Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Besides that, the only other person I can really think of that's been producing for us is George Springer. Besides that, we don't really have the next ace in our hole, and we've talked about that at length this entire season about where that ace can fall. And I think that's where things are kind of falling apart here. We put so much on the shoulders of maybe 2 or 3 players, but when you look at people like the Mariners, they have multiple players that you can kind of spread out that kind of weight, and I think that's where we're falling apart.
Yeah, I mean, it's again like during the season, like Alejandro Kirk had a nice season. Obviously, Dalton Varsho had a nice season. But like to your point, Ethan, it's just the fact that obviously Nathan Lukes again had a really good game too. But it's just it's just that it's the length of the lineup. It's a concept that's like very abstract in baseball, but it's something that the best team, the Dodgers are a great example. Obviously, they have 3 MVPs in their lineup, so it's easy to lengthen the lineup for them. But for the Blue Jays, again, you have Springer, you have Lukes, you have Guerrero. And then after that, I mean, again, Addison Barger's a good player. Alejandro Kirk's a good player. Varsho obviously had a nice season, but again, it's just sometimes when you can't string hits together, when you can't string walks together, it makes it easier. It removes leverage from the opposing pitchers. And again, in game 3 and 4 now, the Mariners are going to trot out what it sounds like George Kirby and Luis Castillo, who are two really good starting pitchers, especially at home. And the Blue Jays are going to counter with Shane Bieber and Max Scherzer, who obviously have great credentials, who that they've had really good seasons in their career, but they're obviously not at their best in 2025. So, it's just again, it's a disadvantage right now. It's just a situation where the best guys in the Blue Jays are going to have to step up. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. was unbelievable against the Yankees. He has not been as productive against the Mariners. That obviously has to change if the Blue Jays are going to hope to turn this thing around. Against a very raucous crowd in Seattle, it's worth pointing out. The Blue Jays haven't made the World Series in 30 plus years. The Mariners have never made the World Series, and now they have a chance to clinch this thing at home. It's going to be very difficult against such a hostile crowd. So again, let's put it out there. The series is not over yet. The Blue Jays I mean, they crushed the Yankees. We saw that. They're the number one seed in the American League for a reason. They're a really, really good team. But going down in a 2-0 hole in the ALCS is a really tough one to dig yourself out of.
Yeah, but look, we're here to stay on the positive side. This is a Blue Jays site for a reason. We're here to stick positive about the Blue Jays. So let's keep things positive. Let's see how the next game goes. They have a day of rest, so hopefully we can kind of bounce back with that day and see where we made the mistakes and go from there. But as always, let's put some comments in the comment section below. Let's see what we're thinking. And as always, we'll respond to everyone and let's hope for a better game tomorrow.